Hi there, my name is Kevin Taylor and this is part 2 of a CGC unboxing. Basically I've got 6 boxes of CGC books that I've been collecting over the last about, I say 6 or 7 years. So yeah, I've got 6 boxes full. I've already unboxed the first box and I've done a top 50 video of my best top 50 CGC books, and I just want to showcase the rest of them. So yeah, as I said, I've already done part 1. So this is part 2 of 6. So yeah. So the first book I have here is Gideon Falls #1. I actually paid £110 for this book. And basically there was other listings on eBay that were up to about £180. So this is a good bargain, I thought. So I picked this one up like as soon as possible. And basically this book is a good spec book because James Wan is like attached to a Gideon Falls TV show. And yeah, I really love the cover to this book actually, and I believe this book actually won Best New Series back in, I think it was 2019. There's the Image Comics release, and yeah, so this is a really good spec book to keep an eye on, as James Wan is a really good director, as he directed like Aquaman and the Conjuring movies. So yeah, really cool spec book, and I say I really love the cover to this book. I think it's really original. And there is a Virgin cover available to this cover, but I like how books will actually have the trade dresses on most of the time. So yeah, that's why I picked this one up. So really nice book. Okay, and a 9.8 with white pages. Okay, the next book I have to show is this one. Here we have Adventure Time #33, and this one features an Over the Garden Wall preview, which actually won an award for best comic book series, I believe for like teenagers. I can't remember which award it won. I think it might have been an Eisner or a Harvey award. But the TV show, which aired on Cartoon Network, actually won awards like for best cartoon and series and stuff like that. So it's a really good cartoon. I recommend checking it out, as episodes are available for free to watch on YouTube. So yeah, first appearance of Over the Garden Wall. So that's like Wirt and his younger brother Greg. So very nice indeed. So the show has developed like a cult following over the years. And yeah, so I do highly recommend you watching the show. So Over the Garden Wall. So very nice indeed. Okay. Next one I have to show is this one. Here we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #95. This is the issue where Jennica becomes a turtle, and this is a really cool spec book as well. And this one was a 1 in 10 variant, I believe. Was it a 1 in 25 variant? It was a retailer incentive cover anyway. And yeah, so this was quite sought after when it was originally released. And yeah, so very nice book indeed. So I think Jenica's going to become more popular as time goes on, and especially when they do like action figures, release action figures of her. So, and if she shows up in the cartoon series, of course, this book is going to go absolutely bananas. So yeah, keep your eye out for TMNT #95. Okay, first appearance of Jenica becoming a turtle. Okay, the next book I have to show is this one. Here we have a Barnes & Noble exclusive book. And this book actually previews the trade paperbacks, but it features like the excerpts from Squirrel Girl #1, Black Widow, I believe is it Volume 5 or Volume 7 #1 by Mark Waid, which actually I believe won an award actually, and Squirrel Girl also won an award also for like book for best teenagers kind of thing between certain ages, and it's also got a Mighty Thor with Jane Foster, and it's also got like the Captain Marvel as well. So this is a really cool book, as it features lots of like women of power inside, and previews of their books and trade paperbacks. And there are very few of this book on the census, and I thought this was quite like a nice little oddity, and I actually class this as a checklist book. And if you want to know more about my checklist books, then do check out my Method in My Madness video that I previously made, so which is really informative. So yeah, really pleased to have this in the collection. And yeah, on the back it's actually got an ad for Hellcat #1 on the back, which is another book that's actually on my checklist. So yeah, really cool. So there's a trade paperback ad. So, but yeah, I am after the #1 issue of this book here. So yeah, very, very nice. Okay, next one I have to show, and I'm going to be showing some books that I've previously shown in my top 50 books. Here we have Planet Comics #1 by Blackthorn Publishing, with a really awesome Dave Stevens cover. I thought I'd pick this one up pretty quick like, because this book was starting to escalate in price. And yeah, I believe this is another book that's only going to escalate further in the future. So I just wanted to get on the pick up a copy in this. And I kind of like to pick up books that are 9.4 and upwards. But depending on the book really. I mean, there are books that I'd like to, that I would like to collect like with a lower grade. Just to get on the grading scale like. Because there are so many books out there that aren't even... They've got 0 on the CGC census at the moment. So yeah, I really, really love this cover by Dave Stevens, and I'm really pleased to have this in my collection. And I'm glad I picked it up when I did. Okay, so the next book I have to show is, where are we, this one? Here we have Nexus the Origin, number NN, which is not numbered. And this book actually won best single issue story, I believe. Is it back in 1993? So I believe it's an Eisner Award winner. Yeah, best single issue story, with a really cool cover by Steve Rude, who was heavily inspired by Space Ghost, but for this character. But as I said, this is a really, really neat book with fantastic artwork by Steve Rude and Will Blyberg. And yeah, very, very nice indeed. As I said, best single issue story winner in 1993. And yeah, really, really lovely cover. And yeah, not much more I can say about this book really. So highly recommend you pick this book up. And it's a book you can find really cheap as well. So very, very nice indeed. And there aren't many of that book on the census either. Okay. Next one I have to show is this one. Here we have Rocketeer Adventures 2, Keep the Home Fires Burning. Basically, Rocketeer Adventures #2 features a story by one of my relatives, Tom Taylor. And I thought it was really cool with the slogan on the cover here where it says, Keep the Home Fires Burning. So yeah, there's 3 8-page stories in this book. A J. Scott Campbell pin-up. So yeah, really, really nice book. And this is a really neat find. And also, it also features a story by Paul Dini as well, who was famous for the Batman Adventures. So very, very nice indeed. So yeah, this is a really, really cool find. And I picked this book up for like £50, I believe, with postage. I believe the book was like about £32 and the postage was like £28 or something. So really, really cool find. I'll try and pick up books around the £50 sort of range if I can. So okay, next one I have to show is this one. Here's another one I've shown in my top 50 books before. Here we have Space Ghost #1, also with I believe, is it Steve Rude? Yeah, with a Steve Rude story. And this one, best single issue story in 1988. So yeah, another really, really cool book with Alex Toth pin up on the back cover there. So he was one of the animators on the Space Ghost TV show. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. So really pleased to have this in the collection. And it's a really nice, thick, chunky prestige format book, that one. And it was the only issue, is a one-shot special. But I say it won an Eisner Award for best single issue story in 1988. So very, very nice. Or his best art team or something like that. So very, very nice indeed. Okay, here's another one that I picked up. This one is a recalled book. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 638, and it's got quite a dark cover, this one. But this one actually homages Amazing Spider-Man number 50. I believe what's the issue when Spider-Man's walking away. Well, is it number 50? Where he chucks his costume in the bin. But this one has Mary Jane actually putting her wedding dress in the bin. I say it's quite a dark cover, so it's quite difficult to see, but if you check out my Instagram, you'll be able to see the picture much better. But yeah, as Mary Jane walking away and then putting her wedding dress in the bin. This was a recalled comic that was while it was being leaving, like it left Diamond Distributors, and on the way to like the shops or wherever it was going to go, the truck that was carrying the books was involved in a traffic collision, and most of the copies were destroyed. And the few that survived, basically, a few copies made it over across to the UK, and most copies were destroyed. And the ones that did survive, a lot of them were like liquidated. But there was one buyer who actually bought quite a few copies, the ones that were left, and every so often he puts them out into the marketplace. This one come up for sale, so I didn't hesitate in picking this one up. As I say, it's got a really dark cover, so it's going to be a really, really tricky book to find in high grade. So yeah, it's a bit of an oddity, this one. Basically, this is a second printing, and the subsequent printings like part 2, 3 and 4 were going to be MIT, so it would spell omit, which stood for one moment in time. And basically in this issue, Peter Parker's supposed to be getting married to Mary Jane, but he misses his own wedding because he gets knocked unconscious, like trying to save a criminal. So really, really cool book. I believe there's just under 100 of this book graded on the census. I'm not sure how many 9/8s are on there. I haven't checked the census for a while. But yeah, this is a really, really cool book, and I'm really pleased to have this in the collection. So very, very nice indeed. Okay. Right, next one I have to show is this one. Here we have Squirrel Girl #1. It's a really cool Marvel character, and she's very popular with girls actually, Squirrel Girl. She first appeared in the Marvel Winter Special, and this is her first issue of her first solo series, which came out many years later after her first appearance. And yeah, this is a really, really cool one. As I said before in this video, this book actually won, surprisingly enough, this book actually won an Eisner Award for best book for, I believe, like teenagers between a certain age. I think it's between like 12 and 15 maybe, something like that anyway. So yeah, really, really cool book, and I'm glad to have this in the collection, and it's another award-winning book for my collection also. So yeah, very, very nice. Okay, next one I have to show is this one. Here we have War of the Realms, New Agents of Atlas, in a 9.8 with white pages. This is a really cool spec book as well. This features a lot of first appearances of new characters. So you got is it Crescent and Io, and also Arrow and Lunar Snow, and I believe is it Wave, and a cover appearance of the Swordsman. And Silk is also part of this team, like Cindy Moon. And yeah, with the new Shang-Chi movie coming out, apparently there might be some like cameos from some of these characters, because Marvel were really plugging this book when it came out, and they actually upped a lot of comic shop orders for free. And yeah, this is a highly publicised book when it originally came out. There are numerous like variant covers for this issue as well, and a second printing, but this is the regular first printing, and in many cases I'd just like to pick up the regular first printings. So yeah, really, really nice book. I only paid like £40 for this book, and it is immaculate, absolutely immaculate, this book. So really, really nice. So yeah, New Agents of Atlas #1. So really, really cool spec book. So yeah, I believe Marvel's got some big plans for this team in the future. So very, very nice. Okay, the next one I have to show is this one. Here we have a homage cover to Mr. Negative #1 by Jay Lee, who homaged his own original cover for Mr. Negative #1. And yeah, this is a video game variant. I believe it's a 1 in 10 video game variant, of course featuring Mr. Negative and the PlayStation 4 SpiderMan.
And basically, the cover of this book actually has nothing to do with the story that's inside. The inside story actually features an origin story for Ghost Rider 1 million BC, who is actually the first ever Ghost Rider. So I like to collect books that sort of highlight the evolution of a character. So for instance, like you've got the Punisher, then you've got like Frankencastle, and you've got like Cosmic Ghost Rider, for example. So like, yeah, the evolution of like a character, and of course you've got like Spider-Man in his different costumes, and Iron Man in his different costumes, and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, really, really cool. I do love the cover to this book, and it is apparently it's rumoured that the big bad for Into the Spider-Verse 2 movie is going to be Mr. Negative. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Marvel publish some more Mr. Negative books in the future with negative covers. So it's really, really neat, this one. I do really like this cover. And it's also the second, I believe, cover appearance of the PlayStation Spider-Man. And it predates Spider-Geddon, I believe, is it number 0? So, but there was a Punisher book, Punisher number 1, that I also have, that has the first cover appearance of PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. But this is the second cover appearance. But it does predate his debut in Spider-Geddon number 0. So really, really nice book. And that's a really lovely cover. Mr. Negative cover by Jay Lee. Who, no, actually, it's Eve Ventru cover. Oh, I got that all wrong. Anyway, it kind of looked like Jay Lee to me, probably because they say he homaged it. But yeah, Eve Ventru cover. It's still really, really lovely. I have actually got Mr. Negative in this box somewhere, so I'm going to have to show that sometime. I will show it in one of my videos. It's really, really nice. Okay, here we have DC Bombshells. Number 1, which is one of my partner's books. As she collects a lot of DC Bombshells and their figurines and their merchandise and stuff. So yeah, really, really nice. So you've got like a Wonder Woman, Supergirl and Batwoman on this cover. So yeah, really, really cool. And it's based on like pin-up girls of like the 1940s, I believe. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. So let's have a close up of that. Lovely. Okay. Right, next one I have to show is this one. Here we have Uncle Scrooge, number 195 from March 1982. Pardon me, by Whitman Comics. Basically, this reprints Cole Barks' original Uncle Scrooge book story, but it actually changed Uncle Scrooge his coat colour from red to purple. And I believe they kind of done that so it would tie in with the Disney cartoon and also with the NES video game, like the Nintendo NES video game. So really, really nice. There's been many reprints of this book over the years, and they always seem to change the colour palettes on this book for some reason. Like the original had like a green boat, I believe, instead of this colour. And then it had like different colour hills as well. And yeah, so this is still a really cool book. And it's quite a tricky book to find in high grade as well, because these books were actually made especially for kids to be read. So yeah, so this is a tricky book to find in high grade, but I'm really pleased to have this in the collection. And yeah, really, really very nice indeed. So Only a Poor Old Man. Nice. So a quick look there. Very, very nice indeed. So okay. Next one I have to show is this one. And here we have a really, really cool spec book. And I believe when the Ironheart TV show comes out, I reckon AI Tony Stark is going to be a big part of that show. And this is his first appearance. And it's written by Brian Michael Bendis with artwork by Alex Maleev, who worked on Daredevil together. And yeah, really, really cool book. And as I said, this is a really good cheap spec book you can pick up for cover price at the moment. But I reckon the price of this book is really going to escalate in the future once a Ironheart TV show trailer comes out. Because I believe Robert Downey Jr. has, I believe he's signed a contract to play Tony Stark again. So whether it's going to be like cartoon voices or a live action TV show, I don't know. But even so, this is a really cool spec regardless. And this is a tricky book to find in high grade. So if you do find a high grade copy, then I recommend getting this one graded, because this one is really prone to getting fingerprints, and it's quite a thick chunky book, this one as well. So yeah, really really cool. Infamous Iron Man #1 with really cool Alex Maleev cover, written by Brian Michael Bendis, and it features the first appearance of AI Tony Stark. Really really nice. Okay, so the next one I have to show in this box is this one. Here we have another one of my checklist books. This one's Marvel Legacy #1 with a really cool Alex Ross cover. I bought this from a seller called Jerry3204 a couple of Christmases ago, and it was quite funny, this book, because he had it up for sale on his shop, and I was interested in it, but before I could buy it, someone else bought it. And I contacted Jerry and I said to him, have you got any more of these books available where you can get graded? And basically he said, like, no, I haven't at the moment, sort of thing. And then what happened was, during the Christmas period, when he sent it off, there was like a lot of snow or something, and the parcel couldn't get to its destination. So it was sent back to Jerry, and then he contacted me, and then yeah, he said, are you still interested in that book? And I said, yeah, of course. And then he said, well, it's yours if you want it, like, you know what I mean? So I said, yeah, thank you very much, like. And yeah, this is a really, really cool one. I believe this is a 1 in 50 variant by Alex Ross. And yeah, Marvel Legacy #1. This is quite an important book, actually, because like Marvel are still on their Legacy run of books. And yeah, it's quite strange, this one, because I kind of like, with this run, the Hulk actually become Immortal Hulk. So I don't know where this one stands in the Hulk chronology. But yeah, really, really nice. And I say I use this as a checklist book. And I say, if you want to know more about the checklist books, then I've done a video called Method in My Madness. So check out that video. But yeah, really, really nice cover, this one. And I say sometimes it does pay to our sellers on eBay, you know, if they're getting any more books in. And I was really surprised, and I say this one came back for some reason. I believe it's probably due down to snow, or for whatever reason it couldn't make it to its destination. So yeah, really, really cool. So yeah, very nice book indeed. And this one also features the first appearance of the Avengers 1 million BC, which includes, I believe, like Ghost Rider 1 million BC. So it was the first ever Ghost Rider. So got the first appearance and origin story. So which I showed a moment ago in that SpiderMan cover book for the Avengers #7. Okay, here we have Duck Avenger #0. And this here one actually features, well, I'd say it's a reprint, but this is the first time this Duck Avenger story has been published in English. The original was actually an Italian comic book released by Paper and Ink, and IDW Comics got the rights to publish it, like translate it into English, which they re-released with this book. I believe this book came out in, was it 2016? So August 2016. And yeah, so it's quite an interesting one, this one, as it features like the original, I believe, like origin story and stuff like that of the Duck Avenger, but I say translated in English for the first time. So very, very nice book, and it's a nice thick chunky book also, and it also a retailer incentive cover. So very, very nice. Duck Avenger #0. Really, really cool. Okay, next one I have to show is this one. Here we have Teen Titans #12, featuring the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs. This one is actually a convention exclusive that was limited to 3,000 copies. I believe the initial print run of Teen Titans was about 55,000, I believe, but it was split between an A and B cover. This is a much scarcer book with only 3,000 copies released. I actually bought this book from 789 Comics, and I only paid £60 for this book graded. So it took a little while to come through, but it did come through. And yeah, they're a highly recommended website if you want to check them out. They specialise in like variants, and they got some really, really cool books. And they do sell like graded comics as well, like pre-orders and stuff. So, and yeah, I only paid like £60 for this book, and it's convention exclusive with the foil cover, and it's First Spirits of Batman Who Laughs. So really, really nice, and that was a really cool buy, and I was really in the right place at the right time with this one. So very, very nice indeed. Okay, next one I have to show is this one. Here's another Avengers number 7. This is the same book as I showed earlier with the PlayStation SpiderMan cover, but this is a 1 in 50 Clayton Crane cover, and this one features the origin story of Ghost Rider 1 million BC, but this one actually has him on the cover, which is really, really neat. So I got that up, but this book to partner up with that book. So yeah, so I like it when I get books that like spin off kind of like other books. Okay, so let's have a look. So yeah, next one. Cool, this is a really thick, chunky case. This one, it's like half an inch thick. That one, super, super chunky. But it's a prestige format book. It's kind of like a trade paperback. And this one is Image First, and this one came out in when did this come out? 2005. It doesn't say which month, but this one features, I think it's probably the first ever reprint of The Walking Dead, and it also features like Rick Remender's like Strange Girl, the Luna Brothers girls, and Sea of Red. I believe the original Sea of Red book actually opened up like a treasure map. So that's quite interesting. But like, yeah, this book features a really early reprint of The Walking Dead. And I picked this book up for around about, what did I pay for this book? About £90? Something like that. £90, £100. But yeah, really, really cool book. And yeah, as I said, it's a lot of prestige format, a trade paperback. And I believe this predates the Image First reprint. The Image release later. And yeah, very, very nice. I'm really pleased to have this in the collection actually, and I'm hoping like Image would do more sort of books like this, or publishers where they collect like individual stories together. So very, very nice indeed. Yeah. So and yeah, collects Walking Dead number 1, Sea of Red number 1, Strange Girl number 1, and Girls number 1. There we go. So it says an inspired introduction to the new avant-garde in comics. Okay. So awesome book. Okay, here we have I Hate Image, free comic book day special, number NN, which is not numbered. This one features a lot of Image comic book characters, and they also use this as an Image Comics checklist book. And yeah, so you say if you want to know more about that checklist book and how I collect comic books, then check out my Method in My Madness video. Okay, so here's that one. This one features a really cool Gertrude on the cover. There was a comic book that was released, an issue of this one released after the free comic book days special, like a regular edition that featured a different cover, but it had like sketch pages in the back, so a couple of extra pages, and it was also like a Walking Dead cover they'd done with Gertrude. So really, really cool. So books to keep an eye out for. And yeah, really, really like this one. And my partner is a big Scotty Young fan, and I like a lot of his artwork as well. So yeah, very, very nice. Okay, so the next one I have to show is another really cool spec book. And I'm glad I picked this up a while ago. This is a book that's fallen off a lot of people's radars. And basically this is Animosity, number 1. And yeah, this is a really, really cool one. As this property was actually optioned by, who was it? Legendary Pictures, who actually done like the Dark Knight trilogy and Pacific Rim films, and I believe, was it the Godzilla films? Did they do those ones? But anyway, yeah, it's a really, really good production company working on this as a, I believe, a movie. It could be a movie or a like series of movies or a TV show. And I believe this is a really, really, really cool one. as this story is about animals becoming sentient and being able to communicate with each other and humans. So really nice book, and I believe this book hasn't reached its full potential yet. There are a number of really cool variants for this book as well that were very lowly printed by Aftershock Comics to keep an eye out for, and it's probably a good time to pick those sort of books up if you could find them for pretty cheap, because I say this book has got a lot of potential. Okay, so really pleased to have that in the collection. Okay, the next one I have to show, I've got 2 more books to show, is this one. I showed this book in my top 50. Here we have Trick or Treat, number NN, Days of the Dead. And it's signed by Michael Dougherty. And yeah, he signed the inside of the book. And yeah, very nice book indeed. And this is quite a thick, chunky book also. It's kind of like a prestige format book. And yeah, very nice. I believe Sam from Trick or Treat, like the main character here, the demon character, he actually first appeared in a Wildstorm comic published by DC. And over the years, the movie has gained like a cult following. It was only released in a few cinemas, I believe. But I say Sam has become like an icon of horror over the last few years. And yeah, so really pleased to pick this up and have this in the collection. And I believe Michael Dougherty, the director, he only signed like 4 copies of this book. So very nice indeed. He also he directed Trick or Treat, I believe, and wrote and directed it. And he also wrote and directed Krampus, I believe. So very cool horror films. So yeah, very nice indeed. So really pleased to have that in the collection. Okay, the last book I have to show is another one what I call a checklist book. And here we have DC Universe Rebirth number 1. And yeah, very nice. And yeah, I'll showcase this book in my Method in My Madness video also. And it's like a midnight variant, this one. It is very nice. And I believe this book featured like a cameo appearance from the 3 Jokers. So, and I also believe there's an ad that features Gotham Girl in here as well. So kind of like a cameo. And yeah, very nice DC book. And I'm really pleased to have this in the collection. And I'm going to partner this book up with DC Universe Rebirth Christmas Special. So yeah, very nice indeed. So thank you very much for watching. So that's part 2 of my CGC collection all done. So I've just got to do on the next part, which is going to be part 3 of 6. So thank you very much for watching. Take care everyone. Be safe out there. Look after each other. Thank you very much. Take care now. Take care everyone. Bye.